welcome to the Confident Club Cuppa. Today I'm with Leon. Leon, quickly introduce yourself.
So I'm now a speaker, a performance coach, BBC commentator, used to be a diver once upon a time.
Yeah, so he does a lot of presentations. There's a lot of times when he has to remember things, right? Thought we'd just focus on memory, because on the workshop, and you probably get asked this a lot as a coach when we talk about beliefs. Most people, Leon, when I ask them, how's your memory? You know, do you believe you've got a good memory? And stop now and think about this. If I was to ask you, do you think you've got perfect recall even? Or above average memory? Most people go, no. Right? Now, rhetorical question. If you believe that you have a bad memory, is it going to be easy to get up and give a presentation without notes? No. Now, when we first met, I think you described yourself as having a butterfly brain and being hyperactive. In fact, his legs going kind of does in here already, right? So Leon took up swimming originally and then gymnastics, and the natural combination of those is diving off a board, 3.5 double-decker buses in air or whatever, right? Of course. But his mum and dad literally pushed him out of the house because he bounced off the walls. And I think you had a concern, didn't you, in the early days, was I need to present without notes because I'm a professional speaker. How do I do it? So what process have you explored, and what would you say about beliefs to do with anything, but in particular memory, and some tips that you've learned over the years?
Yeah, so I held that belief as well, because I wasn't particularly good at school. So I had the narrative of, if you're not good at school, that means that you're not good at this, and your memory, and it's all tied up. And I knew what I wanted to model. I've seen presenters and speakers on stage who aren't behind a lectern, who are there telling stories. I'm like, okay, so that's my model of excellence.
Yeah.
But how they remember what they're saying, and I couldn't make the leap. And I think for me, it's the belief of, well, I'm not an actor, so I don't need to learn a script. I certainly don't. I know some speakers, you know, and it's fair enough. So my method was, well, you know, do I know kind of where I'm going, and then I just go it again and again and again and again, and I learn by doing. Like, so I don't learn you don't learn how to ride a bicycle by PowerPoint, do you?
No.
You get on, you ride a bum, you follow, you know, and it's the same. Right? So for me, the speaking was like, well, I would use some kind of mind mapping just to get my ideas down, and then I would use different colour pens to kind of link them together, and then I would kind of piece it together, and then, you know, a bit of cut and pasting, and then I had this like working document, and then I would say it out loud.
Just get up and do it.
Yeah, and I would start to do it, and I would, and again, saying something in your head is totally different to saying something out loud. So I'm a qualified yoga teacher, and this is one of the tips that I give to the yoga teachers, is like, you talking through the sequence in your head will sound completely different when you hear your own voice. And the same as a speaker. So get up, walk around. If you're a mover and a talker, which I clearly am, then do that. So,
I mean, ideally, do it in the space you're going to be in if you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Ideally, do it in front of an audience you trust, ideally.
Yeah, well, here's another thing that I think really helps with memory, and this is, I'm a big thing on state, okay? So if you're in the right state, then, you know, you're going to be resourceful, memory's going to be operating its best. If you're like this, in a right state, then you're going to remember toffee, and you're going to die on your ass, and I've done both, right?
Yes.
So it's all about state. So when I'm preparing a new presentation or a speech, I often combine it with movement. So you know, so walking is a classic one, but now low level jogging or cycling, I'm there, you know, going through, because my heart rate is up a little bit like I'm on the stage. So it's the same kind of state. So I'm not gunning it, because that's a bit like, oh, I don't even know what my name is when you're gunning it. So it's really interesting that I've used the two things I enjoy. So 45 minutes on the bike, 45 minutes creative, like, you know, speech planning. I'm not necessarily writing, just sweat all over it, but I've got my ideas, and for me that's worked really well. I remember training for my first marathon and running my speeches in my head again and again and again and again
as I was training.
Brilliant. And it was just a lovely way of embedding that. So again, my beliefs are, if I'm moving, I'm more creative. I'm not like sat around like I'm doing now,
in a dark room. So again, there's not one size fits all, but I think it starts, for me, whatever process food, but it fundamentally starts with, if you have a belief that you have a poor memory, then you can only act in the context of that belief, can't you? So you need to, first of all, break that belief and then find a way that works for you. So can you remember all that? I hope so. I'll sit there.